Rated mature audiences only. Viewer discretion is advised. Broadcasting from the Big Peach of Atlanta, Georgia. A show unfiltered, unscripted, raw. The Patriot Angle Podcast. Alrighty, guys, welcome to Thursday's edition of the Patriot Angle Podcast. I'm your host, Michael Gardner. On to today's show, guys. We're going to talk about this subject here. I think that needs to be discussed about the New York City mayor. Yeah, New York City's new mayor, Eric Adams, literally mocked after dropping the vax mandate for performers and athletes, but not private workers. It's an interesting topic, huh? He's willing to drop the vax mandate for performers and athletes, but not private workers. What's the difference there? Why can't he drop it for just about everybody, right? New York City's mayor, Eric Adams, which happens to be a Democrat, not that, has anything to do with it, but mainly Democrats are being accused for everything regarding with this COVID hysteria crap, is exempting performers and athletes from the city's private sector vaccine mandate, claiming that they are simply leveling the playing field for New Yorkers and supporting local businesses and performance venues across the city, despite keeping the mandate in place for other private workers. What? Folks, that doesn't make one fucking bit of sense, if you ask me. I mean, it doesn't. Now, you got this new mayor that just literally took over, right, from the previous mayor, which, I mean, there's really, there's nothing really, better from the last, right? Eric Adams literally just tippy-toeing off the former mayor, right? But basically saying here in a statement, today we take another step in our city's economic recovery, leveling the playing field for New Yorkers and supporting local businesses across the city, he claimed. It remains unclear how this move supports local businesses from a freedom standpoint, I think, folks. At least as other private workers were not granted the same exemption. Oh boy, I tell you, the old exemption was putting our sport teams at a self-imposed competitive disadvantage, the New York mayor states. He claimed failing to fully address how critics would perceive this to be unfair to other workers in the private sector. Oh, okay. Now, with the city in a low-risk environment, they say we can keep protecting each other as we continue to move in the right direction and deliver a example to the rest of the country, Adams added. Yeah. We got a sound clip here I'm going to plug in from basically Chris Maholan off of Twitter. And he was stating that Mayor Eric Adams has officially announced the exemption for professional athletes. This allows Kyrie Irving to play at home games at the Barclays Center and play at Madison Square Garden. It will also allow unvaccinated Yankees and Mets players to play at home as well. Check this out, guys.
Today I signed Emergency Executive Order 62, expanding the performance exemption to private employer mandates. This is about putting New York City-based performers on a level playing field.
Oh, shut up. I signed the level 4, 5, 6, 7. Come on. I want to hear that. Now, prior to Adams' announcement, folks, the vaccine rules generally allow performers who live outside of New York City and athletes who play for visiting teams to perform or play in New York City, regardless of COVID-19 vaccination status. Yeah, ping on that one. Now, it also states here that his office deemed this as a double standard, which I think, right? I mean, it is a double standard, folks. Not only does it hurt the city's economy, but it puts New York sport teams at a self-imposed competitive disadvantage, right? It's double standard. The gist of Eric Adams' vaccine mandate is hypocritical, right? It's a double standard, whether you want to look at it or not. He's basically, what he's doing, folks, okay, he's siding with millionaires over literally blue collar, right? Middle class individuals. He's siding with millionaires and billionaires over the middle class. Basically favoring that people that have money are allowed to basically do whatever they want to do. And the ones that don't have money, well, they're not allowed to partake in this. Well, social media users, folks, were quick to mock Democrats such as Mayor Eric Adams for this decision and others for this type of behavior. Another tweet coming out of Emma Fitzsimmons, and she writes, the statement from PBA on Mayor Eric Adams' plan to offer a vaccine mandate exemption to athletes. Why not police officers too? That's very interesting. Very, very interesting. Where a PBA statement on athlete vaccine exemptions were literally posted just earlier today around 9 a.m. stating that we have been suing the city for months over its vaccine mandates. Arbitrary and capricious. This is exactly what we're talking about. If the mandate isn't necessary for famous people, then it's not necessary for cops who are protecting our city in the middle of a crime crisis. While celebrities were in lockdown, New York City police officers were on the street throughout the pandemic working without adequate PPE, in many cases contracting and recovering from COVID themselves. They don't deserve to be treated. This was from Emma Fitzsimmons on a tweet that she posted just earlier today. Very, very interesting. The tweet's coming out like crazy. Another one from Ross Barkin. And he writes, if Eric Adams wanted to have Judge and Kyrie and the various unvaccinated Mets play, he really should have lifted the private sector mandate for all. No other city has it, and NYC's adult population is almost 90% fully vaccinated. The city weathered Omicron well. Okay, yeah. A lot of people, writing the tweets out, this and that, that, a lot of people are believing that, he's carving out NYC athletes and performers from the private biz vaccine mandate, eliminating for them, but keeping it for everybody else. Yeah, I agree with that. I agree with that. I think it's a double standard on a lot of different key issues. A lot that if you're going to do it for certain individuals, why not do it for everybody else, right? I mean, maybe I'm wrong, maybe I'm incorrect on this or right. Leave the comments here in the show. Love to hear your views on it. But folks, I don't know. It's just a crazy world we live in. I got more on this topic, folks, but I got to take a quick break. I'll be right back after these words. Don't go anywhere.
Shop the semi-annual intimate sale. Going on now at Kohl's.
We have it, Stephen A. Your reaction.
Well, Knicks first, New York always. And so for me, I'm very, very happy that Kyrie Irving is going to be on the basketball court. I'm ecstatic, mind you, because his absence would have cost the Brooklyn Nets a championship. I firmly believe that. And so the fact that he gets to play, I'm very, very happy. The mandate was bogus. Mayor Adams should have lifted this months ago. I don't care what he says. The Bill de Blasio administration is no longer in office. Mayor Adams is. And it should not have taken this long, because the second that fans were allowed to come into the arena unvaccinated, and even the player himself could come and sit in the stands unvaccinated, then Kyrie Irving should have been allowed to play, particularly when visitors could come to the Barclays Center, as Mayor Adams just articulated, and they could perform. It didn't need to take this long. And as far as I'm concerned, it was a dereliction of duty up to this point that it wasn't changed. Having said that, I also don't want to give the NBA a pass. The reality of the situation is the best interest of the game is a clause that could have been used to mandate that folks be vaccinated. It's not a right to play in the NBA. It's a privilege. It's your league. And you have the right to invoke and implement what rules you want to. I know the Players Association was giving you resistance, although they both were supportive of players being vaccinated, although they didn't want it to be an enforceable matter. But maybe that's something that's going to be revisited with their next collective bargaining negotiations, because it should not have come to this point. With all of that being said, we all benefit. Basketball lovers everywhere, because Kyrie Irving needs to be on the basketball court, even though this had a lot to do because of baseball with the Aaron Judges of the world and the Rizzos of the world and the Yankees, because they're...
I'm going to stop it right there. There's times where I don't agree with ESPN's Stephen Smith, but from First Take there, the show, basically saying that it shouldn't have taken Mayor Adams this long to lift the vaccine mandate, something that was implemented from the former administration, Bill de Blasio, right? We all know he stepped down, and Mayor Adams literally taken over that spot. It shouldn't have taken that long. I agree with Stephen Smith of ESPN's First Take. I agree with him on it. It shouldn't have taken that long. Okay? It has nothing to do with Kyrie, this and that, and, he finally getting to play at home games and this, it has nothing to do with that. We're talking about a vaccine, folks. Literally a vaccine. Something that was just overhyped. And you got this Democratic mayor that's literally tippy-toeing off the previous administration, right? The previous mayor that was in office for New York City, Bill de Blasio, right? If you could have fans go in, whether it's NFL or baseball or even basketball games, unvaccinated, right? We're talking about, it's stupid, folks. Literally stupid. Where you're going to have, you're going to lift the vaccine and put an exemption from celebrities and performers, but private businesses, you're going to keep them, you're going to keep the mandate right there. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't. What, celebrities and performers, they have a different breathing problem? Do they breathe differently than we do? I mean, this is it's stupid. Stupid. Here's something here I want to plug in here. Okay, imagine being upset about a fan base supporting a player's right to personal freedom. And you're right. Sass Carey is not a Haran, right? Because that is a female hero. Literally. Right? I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong, I mean, I'm just kind of quoting it as I see it. But, it is what it is, folks. It is what it is. Unvaccinated athletes, performers can return to playing and performing. The current. God, I'm getting excited here. I'm slipping my words up. The current mayor, Adams, makes a health-related announcement, folks. Literally. I mean, just the craziness and the psychosis coming out of the Democratic Party. It's crazy, folks. Literally crazy. Where you're having decisions that they're going off of flawed science. That's what it is, folks. It's flawed science at its best. I got another soundbite here I want to plug in from Mayor Adams and his health-related announcement. Check this out, guys.
Okay.
Of course, he has to get his notes all together. Oh, my goodness. Well, any day now, we're going to wait for Mayor Adams to literally, get his stuff together. It's a long plug-in, the video I'm plugging into the show. Probably the best video I kind of found here on the internet, where it was, him talking about his economic development speech, and then he got into his vaccine mandate decision and this and that, and how he's doing so much good for the city, and it's gonna be a good decision and this and that. Yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah.
Thank you so much.
There he is, right here,
it's good
guys.
to be here today around an important issue, something that I talked about on the campaign trail. And this is just continuation of, promise made, promise kept. And oftentimes I'm asked what are the one or two issues you are going to focus on. And it's more than that. Having one or two issues and just a place where these communities have been ignored, some of the basic and foundational issues that are needed. I'm not going to be a one-issue mayor. We're going to start the process of moving our city upstream to deal with some of the real problems that families are facing. And nothing is a more upstream approach than maternal health, from pregnancy through profession. And as I walk through this building, learning, not only do we have Department of Health and Mental Hygiene, who's here, Dr. Fassan met some of his team, that is here on the ground. And many of these women, predominantly that are in this building, they were here throughout COVID. They were here even when they could have just sort of protected just their families. They were dedicated to the work. And I really want to thank them. And we're going to host them at Gracie Mansion to sit down and find out exactly what we should be doing on the ground, because they have the best answers so that we can get it right. But we're here primarily today to talk about the Brownsville Neighborhood Action Center and what they're doing around ending maternal health issues.
I'm going to stop it right there. I think you know where we're getting at with this. Basically, Mayor Adams dropping the vaccine mandate only on athletes and performers can return. Right? That's what he's doing. Right? But private businesses he's keeping. Basically only lifting the COVID vaccine mandate for only athletes and performers. But private businesses, they have to implement it. Like I said, I guess, it's different. But he's literally, he's not saying anything about people going into huge stadiums, venues for that matter. That's different. Private businesses, that's different too. They have to be vaccinated. Oh my God. What is everybody's thoughts on this? I love to hear the thoughts, folks. This is craziness. Craziness at its best. Literally insanity. Insanity. With that being said, guys, I'm going to close it out here on the Patriot Angle podcast. I do want to welcome my listeners and followers to check me out tomorrow night, as we will have our Unfiltered series. Yes, we're back on Twitch and YouTube tomorrow night on YouTube and Twitch for our live Unfiltered series for Wild Friday. Going to be a really good show, guys. I'd really, really strongly suggest you check that show out. Any other show that you might have missed, or you'd like to hear any of my past episodes, you can check them out on Spotify, Google, or Apple. Just search the Patriot Angle podcast. Will pop up on either three of those major podcast platforms. We are also, like I said, we're also on our social media platforms, whether it's Facebook, the Patriot Angle podcast, or Instagram, Patriot_Angle_Unfiltered. A lot of great content on Instagram. You can check my website out, www.patriotanglepodcast.com, or our merchandise, patriotunfiltered.com. We are also on Rumble, guys. Got a lot of options, okay? A lot of options for us to check us out. We're on Rumble, guys. Yes, Patriot_Angle_podcast. Check us out there on Rumble. Got a really, really good set of content being uploaded to Rumble. So, yeah, definitely check us out on Rumble. With that being said, guys, we're going to close it out, and we will see you tomorrow night on Unfiltered Wild Friday. Thanks for tuning in, guys. You just heard an episode of the Patriot Angle podcast, an Anchor platform.